Hello everyone. Today I will discuss last topic of this unit, that is introduction to recursive function theory, and after that whole syllabus will be complete, and after covering this topic I will give just some important topics where questions can be asked. Let us start introduction to recursive function theory. We know that the class of all Turing machine, computable function and recursive functions are equivalent. That is, recursive function is class of functions, those are Turing computable. Recursion function theory begins with some very elementary functions, then it provides a few methods for building more complicated function from simpler function. As we know that recursive languages are accepted by Turing machine, and we will start with simpler functions, simple function or simpler functions, and we know that any complex function will be made by using some simpler functions. Means if we combine some simpler function, then we will get some more complicated functions. A function is known as recursive function if it can be obtained from the initial functions by a finite number of application of recursion, composition and minimization. To get more complicated function, we have to repeat recursively on simpler functions, so that by recursion or composition or minimization, so that we can get more complex or complicated function. What are initial functions? Initial functions are elementary functions whose values are independent of the smaller argument. For example, z of n is equal to 0, s of n is equal to 0 functions, that is just z of n is equal to 0, means whatever the argument, the value will be 0, that is 0 function. It is independent of the value of n. And second, successor functions, it is just equal to n plus 1, means whatever value you will pass, it will give or it will return just incrementing that one, means whatever the succeeding value of that one will return. Identity functions means argument will be returned, or whatever the value we are passing will be returned. We can build more complex function from the initial set using following method: compositions. Here in f of x, y, we are using two variable x, y, which is, this function is just doing some operation of these two variables x plus y, means what is the value of x, y, just add by this function. Same way, f of x, y is equal to x square plus y square. So we can see that here many functions are involved here. First of all, to compute x square, it will use square function to compute x square, then same for y square, and after that it will be sum. Here is multiplication performed, f of x, y is equal to x into y. Another is primitive recursion. In primitive recursion, f of mn is equal to m plus n. If we pass parameter values of n is equal to 0, then we can see that here f of m0 is equal to m, very obvious. F of m comma n plus 1 will be this one, because it will be equal to m plus n plus 1, and m plus n is equal to f of n. So we can get another function s of n mn, s of f of mn. We can see that it is just equal to increment function, where we are just incrementing or succeed function, here successor function. Just successor function is imparted on f of mn to get s of f of mn. And here we can see that how it is computing in this example. So this is last topic. Now we will give general overview about your whole syllabus. In the syllabus we can see that first unit is about Turing machine. First unit is about DFA and NFA, means finite automata, where we have covered a lot of things like Unit 1. Unit 1 is about finite automata. What you have learned here about first of all terminology like that words, string, alphabet, symbols, and symbols have different sense here. Some symbols have one sense, then another set of symbol have another sense. So alphabet you have learned, string or word or sentence, everything has same sense. String, word or sentence, these have same sense regarding finite automata machine. Importance of states you have learned here. States in which some specific states, initial states, set of final states, transition rule means transition function, which is set of transition rules, or we can say which provides set of transition rules according to transition function. And transition function actually gives construct rule to provide transition rules. Next we have learned about how we can represent any finite automata. For it we have transition table, transition diagram, or we can say, or we can represent in another way by defining a lot of things individually, like all the five tuples, by writing all the 5 tuples, and by defining all tuples individually, we can also represent our Turing machine. In this, main thing is transition rule, because in these representation, transition table and transition diagram, also we have made entry in transition table for transition rules, and in also transition diagram we have edges equivalent to transition rules, and specific things like Q0, that is initial state marked with arrow, and set of final states also marked by circle, double circle in transition table, and in transition diagram single circle. Transition diagram by double circle and transition table by single circle. And so we have three way of representing the finite automata: transition table and transition diagram, and by describing every tuple in these five tuples. We can also, but we recommended one is only transition table and transition diagram. So whenever it is asked what is way of representing finite automata, then we will give only two ways, that is transition table and transition diagram, because it needs more description. So we just avoid this way. It is more compact and complete information. So we recommend, or everywhere it is given that only two ways, transition table and transition diagram. Next, we have learned about acceptance of strings, or what are the way to know which one is the valid string or which one is the invalid string. In this, the concept is used reachability of final states after accepting one by one character from starting first character to last character of the input string. If final state is reachable, then definitely string is valid, otherwise invalid. For this, we have final states, we have initial states to start the processing of a string. So every time you will start to accept given string from start state, and input string that will be equal to after many transition. That's why we are here writing asterisk above the equal sign, QF. Finally it will give QF, matlab final state, means final state. It is one of the final state that belongs to set of final state. So by this way we can say that any string W is accepted or valid string, otherwise rejected string. In the transition diagram, when we using transition diagram, when we start to check about validation of a string, of given string, we also start from start state, and we use edges which labeled by first character of this string to transit next state. Whatever the first character in this string, we have to check which edge is labeled by first character of this string. After finding required edge or valid edge, we will transit from this initial state to where required edges is reaching, and from next state we will do same thing for the next character of this string, and by doing so we have to go at last character of the given string. If after processing last character of this string, if if machine is in final state, then string is valid, otherwise invalid. So many things we have learned in the first unit, because that is some basic things is not going to change in any types of automata, like acceptance of strings, how we are accepting the strings, how we are using transition rule. Transition rule may be different in different automata, means how they are mapping it, way of mapping may be different, or what is the next things after mapping, it may be different. Like in DFA it is mapping 2 into 1 mapping hoti hai, because in DFA Q cross set of input alphabet maps into capital Q. So here is 2 into 1 mapping. We have learned in PDA there is Q into 2, 3 into 2 mapping, 3 into 2 mapping in the case of PDA. The things, but the main thing is how they are going to validate the given string is not going to change. Only way of mapping is just change, but way of validation is not going to change. Basic things never going to change, because there is one thing is important, that there is hierarchy of evolution of anything. First of all, finite automata came into existence, and next push down automata, linear bounded automata, 2-stack PDA, and then finally Turing machine. In Turing machine also we have many variants, and these variants came after one by one. After needing the existence, after needing the requirement, we mathematician have get new Turing machine, or we can say new variant of Turing machine. So basic things are not going to change. If you have learned first unit very well, then definitely it will help in all the units. So I always ask to everyone that first of all clear first unit, that is regarding to finite automata, in which deterministic finite automata or non-deterministic finite automata are finite automata without output. But in the same unit we have studied about Mealy and Murray machine. Those are automata with output, and so there are 6 tuple definition for these, because finite automata actually have 5 tuple definition, and it needs set of final states, because finite automata machine also known as accepting machine or validating machine, and that's why it need final states. But Mealy and Murray machine is not accepting or recognizing or validating machine. It just give output regarding to given input, so there is no need of final state. So this particular Mealy-Murray machine in their tuple definition have 6 tuple, but it not have any tuple for final states. So 5 tuple definition exclude one of the tuple, but it add 2 more tuple, and so it have 6 tuple definition. These 2 tuples actually for new things, that is output. Among these 2 tuple, one for output alphabet set and another for output function. Actually, output function will decide what should be output for a particular input character, and output alphabet is set of valid output symbols, which only these symbols will only be part of output strings. Output strings, there will be output string correspond to given input string. So output string may have different set of alphabets, and input alphabet set have different set of characters. So sometimes they are totally disjoint sets, but sometimes they have some common symbols also. It depends upon for which Mealy-Murray machine we are designing. Like for example, if we are going to design a Mealy machine for one's complement, then think about input string is also binary string and output string is also binary string. So there is no difference between set of input alphabet and output alphabet. But when we are designing a Mealy machine or Murray machine to get for replacing 0 by A, 1 by B, then definitely we have disjoint sets for input alphabet and output alphabet. There will be no common symbol between input alphabet set and output alphabet set. Input alphabet set will have 0 and 1, and output alphabet set will have small a and b. So we have to first analyze what is our requirement. On the basis of requirement, we actually will be in situation to decide what will be input alphabet set, what will be output alphabet set. But it should be clear that neither it is necessary to be disjoint or same. It may be in any form. Maybe some symbols will be common, maybe disjoint, maybe equal. Everything is possible. It all depends upon the need of requirement. Next, we have studied in this particular unit about minimization. Very important thing. No. Before it, we have studied about conversion from NDFA to DFA, and also we have studied NDFA definition, in which there is also 5 tuple definition, but the difference is about transition rule, transition function, that is like this: Q cross set of input alphabet and union null maps into 2 to the power q. What is 2 to the power q? 2 to the power q is power set of q. So just think about power set. Power set is, or think about elements of power set, because it will map in one of the element of power set of Q. Then what it will be image for any ordered pairs in this set. Element of this power set. What are elements? Subsets of capital Q. And subset may have, what is the structure of subset? Subsets are just similar to set, means their their appearance, I am talking about their appearance or their notation like this, means within curly braces, except to empty set. Even empty set also written in curly braces form, while we are writing nothing within curly braces. So every time we are getting elements or what to be written in transition table within every cell in the form of curly braces. Every time way of representation is important thing, either by writing or by any other way. Mostly we give exam in written form, so we should clear what to be written on the copy, and every time people confuse what either we have to write within curly braces or within square bracket or without any bracket. So if concept is clear that capital Q is set and 2 to the power Q is power set, and power sets elements are also set form, that is known as subset. And subset we know that by taking none element from the set, if we are constructing set from given set, by taking none element, by taking one element, by taking two element, and so on, by taking all. So everything should be clear. And what is actually need of, or what is importance of this null symbol? Actually, in the case of DFA, there is no transition rule like this. No transition rule. This is not allowed. Means we cannot transiting from a particular state to next state without considering input symbol. But in the case of NDFA, we have option by accepting, by not considering any character from input symbol to transit to next state, that known as null move or null transition. This is a special transition, that is null transition. Null transition, when we are going to convert a given NDFA into DFA, then we have to remove all null transition. First of all, we have to remove all the null transition, and then proceed for further processing. And we have discussed all the things, all the required things, how we how to get equivalent DFA from given NDFA. Now next topic was optimization or minimization. I have discussed during discussion of this topic that why we need of optimization or minimization. Everything came into existence due to some interest. Interest may be of type human existence, trade, or anything else. but in every situation we need to minimize our cost, and we can minimize our cost only by many ways. And one of the way is, because we correspond to computer science branch, so definitely everything will be implemented in the form of software, and it needs memory. A memory needs depend upon size of description, size of instruction, number of instruction to be loaded in the form of software. So every time we need to minimize these things. So in minimization of states or optimization of finite automata, we just minimize, or we just remove or eliminate those states which actually we don't have need, or just behavior like or behavior of some of states are similar, then we just remove all such state and retain only one among them. So first unit is a very important topic to make our base is strong. Next I will discuss next unit in next video. Thank you.